The potential bad drama with Stefon Diggs has gotten a lot of attention, but there is some lovely drama that comes with the newest Texans wide receiver, and it comes in the form of a 7-piece. Let's dive into that. Also, did a GM in the AFC disrespect the Houston Texans? Go inside the locker room.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey. Locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room.
Stefon Diggs, newest member of the Houston Texans, one of the newest members. The drama in Buffalo is well documented, and there have been a lot of people around the league that have speculated that perhaps he could bring some bad drama into the Texans locker room. That's to be determined. Could it happen? Who knows? Will it? Who knows? But there is some healthy sports drama that arrives with Stefon Diggs in 2024, and it's located all throughout the schedule. Let's go through that. Let's revisit some of it as well. Let's start with the obvious: Diggs versus the Bills. We know how that ended. Didn't go well. It was lovely while he was there. They were knocking on the door of a Super Bowl. Never quite got there. And you know that when the Texans take on the Buffalo Bills, that is going to be played up. That's number one. Number two, his other former team, the Minnesota Vikings, also can make a case that didn't end well. You're going to get that. Probably not as much buildup because it was a while ago, but it is Stefon Diggs versus his former team. So that's number two. Number three, brother versus brother. Stefon Diggs versus Trevon Diggs. Cowboys versus Texans. A lot of people, including Stefon, pushing for that to be on Thanksgiving. Got to think Aiden Diggs. His nephew would get involved in that in some way, shape, or form. That's number three. Number four, former coach, now with the Cowboys, Mike Zimmer. Now, Mike Zimmer wasn't openly upset, said he didn't even want to trade Diggs, but that's a former coach. So you have both former teams, your brother, and a former coach. Now we get on the field between the lines. Jair Alexander and Stefon Diggs. Now this was entertaining. Here was one of their back and forths and what was said after an intense matchup. Here is Alexander talking about Stefon Diggs.
The tunnel with you and Stefon Diggs. What happened in the tunnel before the game when you guys yelling at each other going on the field?
Man, I was just keeping it real with him. Told him he couldn't mess with me and him, little boy. So that's all that was. Just being honest, you feel me? That's all I can do.
He said he didn't know who started it, but he said he finished it.
I don't know what he mean by that. I need more clarification.
Do you know who started it?
No. I don't either. I finished it.
How do you feel about your matchups with him dating back to your days with Minnesota? How would you characterize them?
I mean, I always thought he was a decent receiver. But you know, I don't really got much else to say about him.
I mean, you can kind of see the disgust right there with him. Let's hear from Stefon Diggs on this. Let's hear what Stefon had to say about his matchup with Alexander. I'm getting excited for this one. This is really under the radar.
I don't know who started it. I finished it. You know what I'm saying? I got a one.
So there you go. That one's a little bit intense right there. You got Stefon Diggs, and I think that was where the can man came from. Then you have Stefon Diggs versus Sauce Gardner, drama number 5. And this one actually resulted, it was pretty intense on the field. This was the suplex. This actually led to Diggs' nephew calling out Sauce at the Pro Bowl. These two guys used to do battle. Here's a little preview of what we've seen in that. Here you go. Okay. There you go. Little skirmish between the Bills and Jets right there. Oh my gosh. We're going to get some of that. And then you have Diggs versus the Chiefs. And we all remember this photo. Buffalo so close to getting to the Super Bowl. And Stefon Diggs, every time they lost, he would sit there and just watch the Kansas City Chiefs celebrate. Texans got the Chiefs on their schedule. So there's a lot of drama with Stefon Diggs, not necessarily bad drama, some entertaining drama. Diggs versus Bills, Diggs versus Vikings, Diggs versus brother, Diggs versus Zimmer, Diggs versus Alexander, Diggs versus Sauce, and Diggs versus the Chiefs. That is the beautiful drama of Stefon Diggs, the lovely, competitive, nice, healthy sports drama. Speaking of the Buffalo Bills, Brandon Beane was on the Pat McAfee show, and I want to ask you, do you feel that he kind of took a shot, not necessarily at a calculated shot, but do you feel he took a shot at the Houston Texans? He was asked about trading with the Kansas City Chiefs, much to the dismay of many NFL fans, and allowing them to get Xavier Worthy. And this was his explanation for perhaps making that trade with a team not in the division, but in the conference that you're competing with to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, listen, anytime we trade with someone, if people think, you should take a player there, offense, defense, in this case, receiver, you're always going to get criticized. And it'll have to play out on the field, ultimately with the players that we acquired, the player they acquired. But you can only, it's not like we traded the player to Kansas City. I get that narrative. Like if we had traded, Stefon Diggs to Kansas City, well, why would you trade him there? You don't truly know who someone's going to select.
Oh, so you're telling me that if you would have traded him to Kansas City, you would have looked at them as a threat. That to me tells me that if we're going to take Brandon Beane at his word, then I guess he doesn't think the Texans and Bills are competing in the same tier. That's how I took it, because you traded Diggs to the Houston Texans. Maybe Beane is looking past the Texans. Maybe I'm ahead of myself and saying the Texans are kind of in that tier right now. But the man himself just said it's not like we directly traded him there, or else I would understand that theory. Shots fired or not, disrespect or not, all I know is this: I'm intrigued to see what Stefon Diggs looks like in this offense. I'm intrigued to see the competitiveness of Stefon Diggs. There's nothing better than that highly intense NFL matchup. And then after each play, they got the camera view of the one-on-one battle between the receiver and corner, and it's getting intense. You remember back in the day, Andre Rison, Deion Sanders, Michael Irvin, Deion Sanders just going at it. Remember Odell Beckham Jr. and Josh Norman? We're going to get some Diggs and Sauce. We're going to get some Diggs and Alexander, and then we're going to have brother on brother. They're going to have the camera for that one. This is going to be fun. Cannot wait. The drama of Diggs in the bad form, who knows? But regardless, there's going to be some nice, healthy, competitive drama. Be sure to subscribe, like, right along. Always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. My gosh, I can smell the competitiveness of football season, and Stefon Diggs is only making that smell stronger.
Let's get it. Hey, locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle's what we really do. We the source. We the pulse of the city too. Landlocked. Got the game in the headlock. Localize every